Hey guys, we just got back from a very late showing Wednesday night of the new Brad Pitt sports drama movie F1. And this thing was, I don't know, the movie was packed. And there was tons of people. I don't know if it's an early showing because it's like you get to see it before Thursday nights or whatever. Or if these are just hardcore fans of F1 around us because we got Circuit of America. So we got racing fans in the Austin area. But it was happening. It was hot and it was a good time. And I got to say, wow. I really, really liked it. This is one of those films that it just made me feel good. I didn't want to come out of the theater. Try not to break any laws.
Like the first Fast Furious?
Like the first Fast and the Furious.
In the 1900s?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Man.
It was a lot of fun, an inspiring story, a good story, a feel-good story, really good movie. And this is directed by Joseph Kosinski, the same guy that did Top Gun Maverick. And I can tell because they put you in the F1 vehicles. And now, I've always been into racing and cars, but never like the culture of F1. Like, how can you sit in the bleachers and then just watch these cars for like a few seconds in front of you, and then they're mostly gone the whole time, and then they're seconds in front of you. But this film kind of, now you understand, it's basically the best race that you have ever been to in your life because you're constantly there. The camera they got GoPros and they got freaking 360 shots. They got cockpit shots. They got point of view shots and some really creative just these moments of connecting with speed and the road. And I've had the privilege of driving really fast cars in Las Vegas, the Aventador, and this really encapsulates what it's like, how dangerous it is, but simultaneously how adrenaline pumping it is and how addicting it can be. These high performance machines. And so it's got likable characters, it's got a good story, and yeah, it's a sports drama, a sports kind of film, so it kind of, there's tropes in it. But when it's this well done, when the cinematography is this and you're right in the action, I really enjoyed it. I think that you should go and see this on the big screen. This is going to have a little less effect, on a small television at home. I would watch this in IMAX if I could, but definitely on the big screen. I really enjoyed it. Did you guys like F1 as much as I did?
I highly encourage you to go check it out in the movie theaters. You have to experience it like that because the sounds and everything just makes it amplifies your movie experience. The high-octane races. This movie was way better than Driven. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, my God. How do you even remember that?
Because you were talking about
Driven.
F1.
Isn't that with Rocky? Sylvester Stallone and Liam? No, Chris Hemsworth?
I forget exactly who it was.
I think it's Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth.
this is a way better movie.
Way better movie. I'd even say it's better than the recent racing epic Gran Turismo. And I really liked Gran Turismo. You should. It's really good, too.
Yeah, this was a great cast. I really liked everyone's performance in this. The chemistry was really there. I believe their arcs. There's a couple of little nitpicks, but overall, this was a great movie from beginning to end. I really enjoyed this, and this is why I won't go to the movies.
Yeah, this is a popcorn movie. This is a summer crowd pleaser. It's super exciting. There's tense scenes. And like you mentioned, it's got one of the most basic stories ever written, and it's super safe, and it plays.
You've seen it before.
You've seen it before, but it does it really well, and and you're just gonna have a good time with it. I don't think it's as good as Top Gun Maverick, but this guy really knows what he's doing. If we were back, 20 years ago when people still went to the movies and movies made money, and you could this would be one of a great one. I'm worried about it because it costs so much money.
You said it's $300 million. That might be true. The budget here is $200 million. Maybe
a
the one that you got was the marketing included, so $300.
Yeah.
But You said they're probably going to make back all their money because there's so many sponsorships.
Yeah.
But it just fits. I didn't notice them because it's like everybody has logos on their fucking car.
It wasn't even the racetrack. They were in the kitchen. They look like my kitchen. There's nothing but like ninja products everywhere. I was like, oh, I got that one. I got that one.
Well, then how's it an advertisement? It's just your kitchen, Joe. It's just your average
I'm just saying,
American kitchen.
Nothing about his kitchen is average. This is not how people cook.
I have 5 air fryers.
Facts.
Yeah, there is a lot of ninja sponsorship, so they're probably going to make their money back. I don't know if what the market size is for F1 and for racing films and stuff, but man, it should be a lot bigger than it is. And I hope this movie makes its money back. I hope it does well and they make a profit because I think they deserve to make a profit. What it's got going for it, it's got Brad Pitt. Right, okay, so Brad Pitt, can he still bring people to the theaters? And with a feel-good movie like this, a high-octane movie, an event film like this, whether it does well in the box office, whatever, that's beside the point. I don't care. I'm just trying to review the film. Do I think the film is really good and you should go and see it? Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
I thought you were going to say something else. Alex, are you going to say something else?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
In the end, I think I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It is tense, is exciting. I think it's a hair too long. I think there are times where...
It does feel very long.
I was never bored, though, because there's times where movies are long and you're bored.
156 minutes?
It's well over 2 hours.
It's 2 hours and 36.
Yeah, and so... I wasn't bored, but you feel how long it is, and there are times where it kind of feels a little unfocused. Like there are times where the story parts kind of come in waves, but there's so much racing and so much excitement there that I think that as long as you're in for a sports type movie, you're gonna have a good time. It doesn't feel like a 10 out of 10 for me.
No.
Yeah, I like longer movies, and when I'm really liking, oh crap, I've got yellow on. Okay, if this area is weird, don't worry about it. It's just, anyways. But when I'm in a world that I really like, with characters I really like, I don't mind when it takes its time. I want it to take its time. I want it to be too long. This one ends right where I'm like, this is where we should end, and then we should end. So it doesn't go too far, but it's definitely like, okay, we've hit our limit here. But boy, it's well executed, and I think that it's good to get these types of films too. In Hollywood, there's a lot of things that it's like, oh, well, I want to do something off the beaten path, or I want to try something completely different, or I want to subvert your expectations. Not that there isn't things in here that will do some of that, but it's just good when you've got a very simple story, well executed, that makes you feel good and does its job fully. The film is called F1, and you get it. You get it completely. Yep. And, it gets your blood pumping, and you get down there in the trenches, and you just want to be a race car driver. Now I want to be a race car driver. I want to play some video games. I want to play some, and
not a very good driver on the track.
Race home in my minivan. What?
I am terrible in racing games, except for Mario.
You're good at Mario.
Yes, that's the only one.
Excellent. Yeah. So, so this is basically, you have an older racer who is Brad Pitt's character, who was an rising up and comer, very quick, very fast, but had this massive accident and kind of knocked him out of racing, and he's just kind of a journeyman now. He lives out of his van, gambling addiction, stuff like that, and it just getting any driving job he can, any racing job he can. And
just because.
When this company, Apex Grand Prix, APXGP, comes up to him, is like, they are desperate. You have Javier Bardem, who, to me, never puts in a bad performance. This man is just solid in everything he's in. Even if the movie sucks, Javier's good, and so Javier is good in this, and you see a man down on his luck. He's $350 million in the hole, and he's desperate. So of course he's looking for, journeymen and drivers that can give his company one last push that it needs to stay freaking in the game at all, or solvent it, so where it doesn't get sold. And so there's lots of subplots. There's a subplot with, Javier's company, and there's a subplot with, Brad Pitt, and the reason why he races. For him, it's about the race and something a little deeper that you'll find, and it's not necessarily about the money. And then you got the rising up-and-comer.
The rookie,
who's the rookie.
The arrogant one, and
now that Brad's older, he's on the same team with this brash, loves the Instagram and the attention and all that stuff. And that is played by Damson Idris as Joshua Pierce, this hotshot rookie. And there is, some good stuff to mine there. And I like how in this one, it's mainly a story about how this team comes together and all the different pieces of the team. Each person, how they contribute. Eventually an interest for Brad Pitt where there's, multiple project managers and things like that can help improve the car and taking feedback. And I like how it's more interior and conflict there than it is, there's the guys in the red cars and they're the bad guys and they spit on people or they sabotage the car by putting a wrench in your gas tank.
You talking about the ski patrol from the 80s?
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad that it's
Chad
not
and Blake
like that. These are professional drivers. There are professional companies, Porsche, Ferrari, McLaren, bunch of it. So, I like that they don't make them villains. They just, things happen.
Just out there doing a job. Yeah. But I was getting, if I was the other team, I was honestly going to be very pissed because they kept doing some dirty tactics, which is not really dirty tactics.
Yeah, it's in the film, they use the rules to the fullest. So there are certain things that when cars collide or when cars need to pit or when there's road hazards, there's little layers of rules that you don't really know about if you're not a huge racing fan paying attention.
You're playing with the line. Yeah.
You're playing with the line, and then you're also boxing out. Now, this is legit car strategy where you're boxing out others. You're playing defensively. Yeah. You're not necessarily trying to win for yourself in that moment, especially if you're part of a team. So all this interplay does really well. The director, the writer does a great job of explaining all these things to you and having you understand them, and you don't need to be a big racing fan to understand them, and they work, they make sense, and it's like you got to do what you do in order to win, and different people have different styles, and I like that, and it works really well here, and it creates a compelling, fascinating, interesting story. So you said 9?
I said 9.
I agree with the 9 as well for everything we pretty much said. There's one thing at the end I was hoping they wouldn't do. Luckily, they didn't. We'll talk about it
in the spoilers. I'm going to also go with a 9 out of 10. And that is, I think, the only criticism, the only knock I have, because I enjoyed it all. And I don't think it loses focus. I just think there's multiple elements that that they're addressing here, and some are more compelling than others, is maybe the length for some people, but not for me. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very good. So 9 out of 10. Let's go ahead.
Stuff.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go out and see it in theaters, basically. This weekend, next weekend. This is like, wow, you need to see this. That's what I want to tell you. Wow, you need to see that. I should have started the review with that. So let's go into the spoiler section. For those of you who want to or know you're not going to be able to see it or have already seen it, come join us in the spoiler section. Okay, guys. So basically, why do we say it's a simple story?
This is every Western you've ever seen. It's every sports movie you've ever seen where there's a team down on their luck, and they've got nothing. They need a spark, and so they go back and they're like, "Well, it's a long shot, but back in the day, there was this guy."
It was a Bad News Bears. Yeah, starting from there.
Yeah, and so then they bring him in, and he's there to kind of teach the rookie, and the rookie is arrogant, and he doesn't want to play nice because he's like, this guy could take my job, and he's not understanding the whole mentor-mentee relationship. And then of course, like a superhero, he completely changes everything, including the engineering things and the people with doctorates. And it's just a dude who lives in a van, but he's like teaching people how to do stuff.
But he knows because he feels the car.
He feels the car, and then there's a woman that's there, and she has a pad. She doesn't hook up with people that's there, but.
It's Brad Pitt.
Gee golly, it's fucking Brad Pitt, so they're gonna bang. And then at the end, he's like, "Hey, I know we won the championship and we banged and stuff, but I gotta go." And then they hold hands and then walk away.
Oh yeah, that was
sunset.
the other thing that I was like, really? Come on now.
Yeah, basically.
I gotta continue racing. I gotta continue chasing that feeling.
Yeah.
So he could have won in his past.
Just take off.
Could have won in the past. His car breaks up and he gets all really messed up and
Almost
mangled.
dies, yeah.
You can see his feet are facing in wrong directions on the thing. They do a good job of this 1999 footage. It looks real. It looks like, oh shit, all this shit is real, but this is all made up. It's made up stories so that they can kind of mine the drama as best as possible. Anyways, but eventually you think this young rookie who he's butting heads with constantly, they're, at first it's actually Brad Pitt's character that is being kind of a dick and doesn't want to let the rookie pass him. And he's like, if you want to pass me, the team's like, hey, let him pass you. And he's like, no, you got to earn it. You didn't do it. Like, he's testing him and basically ends up making him spin out. Later on, the guy returns, makes Brad Pitt spin out. Brad Pitt goes up to him all fucking pissed off. I'm like, yeah, but you did that to him. But it's a different part in the movie where they're even more desperate. There's less time to be fucking around at that point and doing that because his friend is Javier Bardem's character is Brad Pitt's friend. They used to race together, and so when he feels the rookie's just playing with this company, and because the rookie has agent character that's constantly wanting him to do all the other stuff, the social media and the fans and the press events, and to get other teams to eventually recruit him because this isn't going to exist anymore. So he might have his motivations differently, but over time everybody kind of comes together and plays off each other in really good ways. And Brad Pitt is more about combat. Is his whole theme of combat. He wants to get in close to people, ride the dirty air. But all of the F1 cars are built to not do that. They're built different. And so he goes to the engineer lady who builds the cars, and he's like, I need you to make a custom car that makes it better.
Build a brand new car? Okay, I'll do it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
It was quick.
Just the
quick.
arrow stuff, and it's cool to see it. Now, whether this is real or makes any sense, and I don't think
I'll allow it.
because
I was entertained.
Right, anything that makes you good at combat in the corners and with air and riding other people and being close to other people and riding in dirty air is going to make you slower on the long way. So it would even out, and it would probably just be suboptimal. But I don't care because it's cool that Brad Pitt's like the fucking brawler, and then the other guy is like the fucking traditional racer. He's quick, young, and just
kind of dumb.
Good, but kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And they eventually learn to work together. Hey, the simple story. And they pit other people out, and they hold, one guy holds the leaders back while
shake and bake.
Yeah, basically the other one is trying to catch
up.
up.
A lot too.
Is that the actual shake and bake tactic from Talladega Nights? I forgot.
Yeah. Because he's like, hey, do you think one time I could win the race? Because he slingshots him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
oh, that's right. Yeah. So that you get a little bit of that in here. And eventually, of course, as we said, Brad Pitt, it's good to see that it's like, is he going to win? He doesn't win. He has to let the other guy win, or they'll get him next time, or some kind of subverted expectations.
Yeah.
No, it's just glorious this old guy who never got to win and has spent his whole life searching for this feeling. Not only does he simultaneously capture the feeling in this last lap that's set up perfectly for him, but he also wins the entire thing, and he could be called the greatest racer in the world, since they consider F1 the top racing. Now, whether you're the best racer in the world just because you're F1.
For that week. For that week.
For that week, fine. We'll give it to you.
It's for that week because the two people in front of you crashed. So you're like, because that's how he wins. He wins because his teammate is actually in first, and Lewis Hamilton is pissed that they shaked and baked him. And so Lewis Hamilton takes out Pierce, and then they fly off, and that's the only reason that Brad Pitt wins.
Yeah.
Because Lewis Hamilton's a dick.
Yeah,
a very tiny. He's got a cool dog, though. He's got an English bulldog. I like his dog.
That's a real racer.
Yeah.
And he gets a cameo in here.
There's a lot of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton glazing in this movie. A lot. So
I didn't notice it because I didn't even know who the fuck those names are or who those people are, so it didn't really matter to me. Anyways. So, yeah, and then, so you get the big fucking fireworks and explosion, and you get the payoff, and you get the champagne and the feel good. And I just feel like a lot of movies recently is not about the feel good and doesn't want to pay it off because they feel like it's too cheesy. But fuck it. There is a message in winning like that. And I just think it's real nice, and I would replay it. I would rewatch this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For fans of racing.
The only thing that I was kind of worried about was towards the end because JP got into a car accident and he had to get he was in the hospital or whatever. Then
his
was
car
Brad
flies
Pitt.
off. His mom blames Brad Pitt because
she's dumb.
Yeah,
she's an idiot. It was actually JP. Brad Pitt's like
You
ride
got
the guy,
too
ride the
cocky,
guy's
be
air,
patient.
and then at the end overtake him. But JP's like, I can take him now, and then he flies off, and you get that
Getting
scene
cocky,
from the trailer.
kid. Yeah. So he got hurt, and then Brad Pitt got hurt, and then at the final one, he starts getting blurry vision and stuff like that. It's like, we don't need another accident. I thought they were gonna
one more thing
to make it like we didn't need that extra thing.
Yeah.
Where he starts getting blurry vision. I thought he was gonna get into another car accident and maybe die or something because he's like, oh, if I die on the field, they'll be okay.
They try to tease it that. I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Me too. I was like, thank you. I'm glad we didn't do that.
The other guy can get first.
Yeah.
Or some bullshit.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm happy they didn't go that route.
Yeah. It's simple storytelling. There's nothing complex here at all. So.
At one point, let's see, the Pierce guy goes to the club the night before they're supposed to race, and this is the only part that flew over my head. I'm like, who? So then, he's having a good time soaking in all the drama, and one chick comes up to him. It's a hot chick, and she's like, oh, are you F1 driver? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, what team are you for? And he tells the team, and she's like, oh, can you talk to Carlos Sainz something?
He's one of the top racers.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a real racer. Okay, because I was like, is he another guy on our team I wasn't? Because the other guy was Luca. They have a third racer, but he's never really a part of it. He's the alternate racer.
Yeah, no one likes Luca.
No one likes Luca.
No one.
He's like, God damn it, every day I suit up, I want to race, and I never get to race because Brad Pitt shows up.
There's a 60-year-old man who shows up.
Walking every time, and then the other guy shows up, and he's miraculously good after 3 weeks in the hospital because his hands are burned. All right. So, okay, just a famous hot racer that women love or something. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, he gets pissed off, and he's like, I'm going home, and I'm going to focus on the race, and fuck all this superficial stuff.
This is when he's realizing that Brad Pitt's been right about a lot of things, where he's like, look, you got to get off social media, you got to focus on the race, and he starts jogging like Brad Pitt instead of the way, he was on all of them. It's like the Drago Rocky thing, where it's like one's doing all the tech advanced stuff, and then Rocky's running up a hill to, some great 80s montage song, and he's like, oh, hey, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and they do a montage where Brad Pitt, while Pierce has his accident, Brad Pitt is winning races his way and stuff, while this guy's training to try to get his hands back and stuff. So they've got some montages here.
That's why Brad Pitt almost beats his ass, because the kid comes back. The first time Brad Pitt says, I'm not going to let you pass me, they're in dead last by like 3 laps. There's no impact whatsoever, so he's like, hey, man, show me what you can do. Pierce ruins one where they both could have won the race.
Right.
Like, they were both way up there. So it's like, and he's like, hey, man, it's one thing when we're in fucking last place.
And you're fucking with Ruben.
You're fucking with a friend of mine.
Ruben's Money and Company. And it's cool to see the progression because Alex is right. They're dead last. Then some races, one of them gets 10th. And they're like, oh, shit. And then when they start to get 6th, it's this huge thing.
There's a chance.
And then you're saying there's a chance. And then by the end of the film, they're positioning 1-2 kind of thing and fighting Ferrari and others. So, yeah, it's just a great story.
Yeah,
we already covered the chick.
The other subplot with the kind of shady other partner that
Yes,
kind of
let's cover
backstabs
that.
him. Whenever they rebuild the car for combat, they changed the fenders and stuff, and he submitted some fake papers, and they had to completely redo the car. Or
that didn't make any sense without context. Basically, there's an inside job, and so they got approval previously for their designs because they're doing things the right way. Obviously, if you're building a car for combat, you have to let everyone know there's not spikes coming out.
no fucking rockets.
There's not a button that you can press and put some machine gun.
I call this one the Mach 5.
Right? So they thought they were approved, and they were approved, but somebody else resubmits documents. All these are forged. And all this. And it's like, but that could only happen if it came from your company. Yeah. So they're like, no, this is not approved. You have to go back to the previous version that we approved.
The shit box.
The shit box, and their cars suck, and they're going to lose.
It's the plot from Major League where one of the owners of the team was like, hey, the only reason I want Brad Pitt to race this car is I want the oldest, shittiest person who's going to destroy this team so I can sell it for a massive profit because if we continue to lose, then Javier
You've seen it before.
Yeah, so it's and then it turns out that the ragtag group of dudes from Major League
they made it happen.
With Charlie Sheen are able to win the pennant, and they get to keep the team, which is...
And that's exactly what
when
happened.
you watch too many fucking movies like all of us have, it's like, oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
but this evil corporate guy who was one of the guys on the board and the directors actually at one point in the film pulls Brad Pitt aside and says, look, well, the company's going out of business, but I tell you what, I've got another venture going. I'm going to make you this. You're going to be this. You're going to be with us. And we'll even bring in Javier in an advisor role and stuff. And Brad Pitt realizes, wait a minute, like, you had all this stuff set up. Like, you were the one that fucked everybody. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm a winner. I want to win.
You. Yeah.
And he's like, but the guy's so stupid to think that Brad Pitt's not going to do anything. He has to know that Javier's his friend, and but he's just an idiot. And he turns around all happy, and he's like, call me later, and I got a guy that can help you with your medical issues and shit. And eventually, it's good to see Brad Pitt. He gets in his car, and you're like, is he going to take it? No, he's not going to take it. Of course he's not going to take it. He's a good fucking friend. So basically, he exposes the guy and tells the officials, yeah, this is the forged documents, and this is the guy that was doing it, so they can use their design in the final race.
It just got approved. He never outed him.
Or it was, it was just, exactly. And and he sends him a fuck you emoji because the guy gets announced. Because Brad Pitt isn't the driver. It's going to be Luca and his replacement.
No one likes Luca.
And no one likes Luca. But last minute he shows up with his duffel bag and he's the driver. And then this guy's like, wait, what? And he looks over, he sees Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt, on his phone, texts him a fuck you emoji. Yeah. So he's like, I'm not joining your team.
But they got to win.
One last shot to try to win. And they got to win. And they do win.
They need a miracle.
And Javier, when they win, boy, he's like, I can't believe, I felt for him. I was like, yeah,
they needed a miracle, and they got a miracle.
Yeah. And at one point, Javier didn't want to let him drive because he finds out that Brad Pitt has a secret. And the secret is that when he got into a wreck, he covered it up. He should never enter a car again because they could hit his brain and he could die.
It should have been in Rocky Balboa, the last one he did. Rocky, stop fucking fighting.
Stop fucking fighting. But he hides it, and he's like, just let me in that car. It's the only place I want to be.
It was 30 years ago. I think it would have been better tension if they're like, hey, this last accident has triggered something. But he's like, hey, 30 years ago, you got into an accident, you could die. He's like, yeah, it was 30 years ago, bro.
But they couldn't have done that most recent accident fucked up because people would have been like, well, how does he recover in time to get in the car? And that's physically impossible if he got really injured.
Did you see that crash? He recovered in 3 weeks. Pierce recovered in 3 weeks, and he was on fire for 3 minutes.
He's young, though.
Yeah, but they got some fiery,
Pitt
retardant suits that are pretty damn
Brad Pitt,
good.
It's going to take him a while.
And what's cool is I've actually been in this event before. I don't think there's any footage of it, but Audi did a thing a long time ago where it was for a video game where the Le Mans race they did this 24/7. They gave us actual real racer suits that are like flame retardant and things, and then they had gamers obviously go in and simulate it. And so we were sleeping in rotation, and then when he bangs on 5 minutes. Like, no, you got to let somebody know more than 5 minutes ahead of time that they're about to go out there, because I was fucking tired as fuck, and it was like racing, like 8-hour shifts of racing. And that's and so to get that small little feeling in that, and that's not even real. This shit is real, and they do a good job of showing. They try to train their bodies, they stay in shape, and this is dangerous stuff. If you get into an accident, you can lose your life. And, it's just great. So I think we pretty much covered. At the beginning, he was doing the Le Mans. Then he was about to do, and he does really good position. And everybody's like, hey, man, stay, man. That was great. Oh, wow, you helped us. At the beginning of the film, he's like, no, I'm going to go on to the next. He's like, how you keep start over? How could you start over every time? And so he's going to go do Baja in California and, racing in the dunes and shit. But that's when Javier comes. So he does the F1. Yeah. But after he wins, that's when they do the thing where the girl comes to his hotel room and she thinks she's going to be with him.
Candles are lit and he's wearing this ridiculous, super sexy sweater. And it's just like, Steve Winwood definitely playing.
Yeah. And he's like, I forget what the interaction is.
He rides off into the sunset, and
he's like, "I'll be back," or like, "I'll see you on the road." I'm like, "This is."
So he's like, "I normally say I'll see you on the road, but instead I'll say, can I see you on the road?" And she's like, "Yeah, drive fast."
Off.
And then she just sits there waiting for him
so
forever.
assumedly, he will come back. He
no,
has some
he won't.
business to take care of, and they'll be together. Yes, they will. That's what
the guys in westerns never come back.
Whatever.
It's true.
So then he goes to California, to Mexico or Tijuana. No, I think it was California. And there's a Mexican team, and they're like, "Hey, we can't pay you very much. What is your name?" And he's like,
Sonny Hayes.
He tells them the name, and they're
I don't think they know who the hell he is.
No.
But isn't that the guy that just won F1?
And
Baja racing to watch F1, I guess. Yeah, but they're like, okay. And so then during the credits, there's no after credits, just a mid-credit scene. He's just racing on the dunes of Baja and having a good time, and you can actually see it's Brad Pitt in there. Now, did he actually,
train?
Did Tom Cruise actually fly F-16s and things? He got to be in the co-pilot seat and stuff. Did Brad Pitt actually, drive Formula F1 cars? They drove Formula F2 and Formula 3 cars that were modified to have F1 packages on them. But their engines were removed and it replaced with electric motors.
Go-kart motors,
basically, yeah. And they did some race weekends, not official F1 sessions, but to get some more of the realistic shots and things like that. And it just looks great.
It looked really realistic.
Fucking wonderful. So, just wanted to throw that in there, that he actually got racing experience. And now I'm wondering if Brad Pitt's kind of got the racing bug in him now. Because who was it that went on to racing?
Stallone.
It was Frankie Muniz, wasn't it? He went into racing.
Driven. Check it out. It's not as good.
No, don't check it out. First, check out Gran Turismo, the video game movie, because that one's good. Then this one.
Oh, and it's
then over the top.
Then maybe over the top. Then Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Then maybe Driven.
We forgot to mention his little superstition thing. He doesn't touch his trophies.
He has that trophy.
He doesn't like to touch the trophy. He's got a ritual where he throws cards into bin, and then he takes his one card and puts it in his pocket.
Never looks.
And then never looks. And then at the end, when he wins, he looks at the card. And I like that they don't show the audience the card. I personally think it's a king or an ace or basically the highest card, which is
the Joker.
Joker.
He didn't take it out.
What's the instructions for the bicycle
He
deck?
didn't take it out. He didn't take it out.
Well, so does that mean that he's going to die in Baja because now he's done all the
no.
You're not supposed
Why would he die?
Because he did the thing. He broke all of the traditions, and so like his luck streak is over.
No.
You're not supposed to look at the card.
Actually, I don't know if they ever say he never looks at the card. I think at the end of the races, he looks at the card. It's just the camera gets to see him look at one of the cards one time, is what I assess. There's one final scene where the boys are button heads, and the girl calls them into a Vegas bar, and they're like, "All right, enough of this shit. One of you is gonna be number one. The other one's gonna be number two. We're gonna get all this out of your system. We're gonna play poker." And it's like, well, Brad Pitt's a gambling guy. The younger guy's a young guy, a young hot shot. They start to play, but the chick is really good at poker too. And so you have this scene here, and eventually it comes down to Brad Pitt and
Team
the
building.
young rookie.
Great team
And the
building.
young rookie goes all in after Brad Pitt says, actually gives him a compliment. Like, you're a
Pocket
good racer.
fives?
You're
This
a good
kid's
racer.
an idiot.
Why does he think he's gonna win with
Because
a pocket
he's
fives?
an idiot.
One of the worst
I
hands.
don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
It's one of the worst hands, Joe.
Okay.
It's not the worst.
The
hand.
flop had a king, and he's like, I'm going to go in with pocket fives.
Right, but I guess it was just like I'm gonna, I'm so confident I'm gonna fake you out and you're gonna fold. But Brad Pitt doesn't fold; he goes all in, but he keeps his cards down, and then he reveals the cards. It's two fives, and then Brad Pitt goes, you got me." And then the guy's like, "Yeah, I won!" And then his agent comes in, distracts him, picks him up. You're number one. You're number one. And the chick is like, what?
Says,
she makes a comment.
I only sleep with winners. And then he kind of sneaks at the two kings.
Yeah,
No,
from his
he
pocket.
doesn't. No, he doesn't, Joe. He legitimately had two kings and shows it. And boy, her panties dropped so fast.
She was drinking
because
tequila the entire night.
This is. I mean, that is a big power move. He's like, I'm gonna let the baby have his
It's
bottle,
magic.
and it got her hot and
How does
heavy.
it work for you?
It's like, well,
How's it work out?
I'm still practicing.
You still single, Joe? Oh well, maybe your tricks aren't good enough.
They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
Plus,
They're illusions.
I'm not Brad Pitt either, so that might help.
That hurts
helps a little bit when you're Brad Pitt.
A little.
Yeah, so then they start kissing and passionately making out, and then they make love. But you don't see, there's no like a sex scene or anything. They just go to the hotel room, and she gets a little embarrassed because Javier shows up. He knows that Brad Pitt's in her room at some point, and that's when they find out that somebody fucked with her car qualifications. But yeah, just overall great.
Good
I think
stuff.
we pretty much covered everything. Go out and see it. It is worth your money if you love big event movies, and I think you'll like it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.